A shocking economic meltdown has just rocked the United States, sending shockwaves across global markets. President Donald Trump, in an unprecedented address, issued a panicked message to the American people, desperately trying to restore confidence after Wall Street took a nosedive. The cause is bold declaration of Liberation Day, a move he believed would ignite national pride, but instead triggered a catastrophic financial downfall. Investors scrambled, the dollar tumbled, and the stock market suffered its worst single-day drop in years. The question now is, how did this happen? And what does it mean for the future of the American economy? The ramifications of this crisis go far beyond Wall Street, impacting everyday Americans, international trade, and the global financial system. With experts warning of prolonged economic instability, this crisis could mark a turning point for US leadership in the world economy. Before we dive into the details of this economic collapse, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the African Web. We bring you in-depth analysis on critical global developments that shape the world we live in. Now let's break down the chaos, the global backlash, and the dangerous economic gamble that could reshape US financial stability for years to come. To understand the roots of this crisis, we need to look at the aggressive economic policies that led to this moment. For years, Trump has touted his aggressive trade policies as a pillar of economic strength. However, his latest attempt to bolster American industries backfired in spectacular fashion. By imposing sweeping tariffs based on an arbitrary formula, one that even his closest advisors struggle to explain, Trump has effectively waged an economic war not just against China, but against traditional allies including Canada, the European Union, and Australia. The idea was simple: make foreign goods more expensive, forcing Americans to buy domestic products. But the reality? US consumers bore the brunt of these price hikes, while businesses reliant on global supply chains suffered immensely. Prices of essential goods surged, families found their budgets stretched thin, and small businesses reliant on affordable imports faced unprecedented financial strain. With major retailers raising their prices to offset costs, consumers found themselves paying significantly more for everyday items. Additionally, domestic manufacturers struggled to ramp up production quickly enough to meet demand, creating shortages across several key industries. The housing market, which relies heavily on imported materials, saw construction costs soar, making home ownership even less affordable for the average American. Major industries took heavy hits as well. Manufacturers struggled to secure essential materials, and companies from automotive giants to tech firms saw their profits dwindle. Uncertainty plagued financial markets, with investors rapidly pulling funds from American enterprises, leading to further declines in stock prices. Meanwhile, international leaders were quick to react. European Union officials denounced the tariffs as reckless economic self-sabotage, warning that retaliatory measures would be swift and severe. Australia's government issued stark warnings about the long-term consequences of such protectionist policies, while the World Trade Organization scrambled to mediate growing tensions. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, a former central banker with deep financial expertise, took swift action, leading to even greater ramifications for the US economy. As foreign governments imposed counter-tariffs on American exports, industries that depended on international markets, such as agriculture and technology, faced declining revenues. The ripple effect of these policies reached beyond economics, straining diplomatic relations and eroding decades of international cooperation. As if the economic turmoil wasn't enough, the political landscape also saw a dramatic shift. Enter Elon Musk, a billionaire known for his ambitious ventures and political involvement. Seeing the economic crisis unfold, Musk attempted to shape the narrative by investing millions into a crucial election in Wisconsin, aiming to solidify Republican influence and soften the blow of Trump's failing policies. But his gamble failed spectacularly. Despite his deep pockets and an aggressive media campaign from MAGA-aligned networks, voters rejected the narrative, handing a decisive defeat to the GOP-backed candidate. The message was clear. Even within Trump's voter base, confidence in his economic leadership was waning. This loss sent shockwaves through the Republican establishment, exposing deep cracks in their strategy heading into the next election cycle. Conservative pundits scrambled to explain away the defeat, while Democratic leaders seized the moment to present themselves as champions of economic stability and responsible governance. For Musk, the consequences extended beyond politics. His personal brand suffered as critics accused him of prioritizing political maneuvering over genuine economic solutions. With his influence taking a hit, the billionaire found himself at the center of a growing debate about the role of tech leaders in shaping national policy. But the most immediate and significant blow to Trump's economic strategy came from the North. Canada, historically one of America's closest trade partners, wasted no time in countering US tariffs with a series of its own, targeting key American exports such as agricultural goods and industrial materials. Yet the most damaging move wasn't just tariffs. It was the shift in energy trade. The United States has long relied on Canadian oil imports, but rising tensions prompted Canada to look elsewhere. Sensing an opportunity, China swiftly negotiated long-term agreements with Canadian suppliers, redirecting billions of dollars worth of energy exports away from the US. This move not only provided China with a more stable energy supply, but also weakened America's leverage in future trade negotiations. Additionally, Canada's government announced new incentives for domestic energy production, reducing reliance on US refineries and shifting the power dynamic even further. With global energy markets in flux, American consumers faced the harsh reality of rising fuel costs and an unstable supply chain. The completion of the Trans Mountain Expansion (TMX) project only accelerated this shift. No longer entirely dependent on US refineries, Canada gained a stronger negotiating position, dictating terms more favorable to its economic interests. Meanwhile, the US faced rising fuel costs and supply chain disruptions, further weakening its economic position. This shift signaled more than just an economic realignment. It reflected a broader geopolitical transformation, with America's traditional allies seeking alternative economic alliances. Trump's economic brinkmanship has created ripples that extend far beyond the United States. His miscalculated tariffs, the subsequent market crash, and the shifting dynamics of global trade have all contributed to an unprecedented economic crisis. While Trump scrambles to reassure the American people, the broader impact is undeniable. The world is watching. The alliances that once defined global trade are shifting, and economic power is being redistributed in real time. Financial experts warn that unless swift corrective measures are taken, the US could face a prolonged period of economic stagnation. The consequences of these actions will not only affect the stock market, but also the livelihoods of millions of Americans who are already struggling to keep up with rising costs and economic uncertainty. So, what does this mean for the future of American leadership on the world stage? Will Trump's policies force the US into further isolation, or will the nation find a way to navigate these turbulent waters? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the African Web for more in-depth analysis on global economic shifts and political maneuvers.